Today, on Be Something Wonderful, manifesting is not what you think. The shocking truth of everybody is you pushed out. I am your host, Tom Kearin, and these are the studios of Be Something Wonderful, where we help you level up and become the best version of yourself. Creators, good morning and welcome back to the studios of Be Something Wonderful. There were some questions around the idea of Neville Goddard's teachings and the idea that everyone is you pushed out, and the law of assumption. The whole idea of Neville Goddard, the spiritual teacher Neville Goddard, and his teachings about the law of assumption, and the idea that everybody is you pushed out, what he was saying is that everything that you experience as your physical manifested reality is a result of who and what you're conscious and aware of being, or a result of who and what you assume yourself, others, and your reality to be. That's the law of assumption. What you assume of yourself, others, in the world is your experience, is your entire life experience, your entire physical experience of reality. And so everybody is you pushed out is the idea that everything and everyone in your entire life experience is pushed out from within you, from your assumptions about yourself, your self-concept, others, and your world, your reality. So I want to talk about this idea today and more. Everybody is you pushed out. I do want to remind you, because there's some misconceptions here. And this person that one of the creators that I spoke with, had this, was worried that, but I'm not that person, right? That I'm not like them. I wouldn't do that. All of these things that they're talking about, right? I want to remind you what it really means. This idea that everyone is you pushed out. And it can be no other way. And I'm going to walk you through this why. And as it relates to, it's going to really change your manifesting game, right? It's going to open everything up for you when you have this understanding of what this really means and how you can manifest a life of your dreams by understanding these ideas. You are you, and others are others. There you are. Think of this as you. And others are others. In other words, you each are a unique, individualized, focused personality or personalized essence of all that is, of that I am awareness, of ultimate reality, of what we may call God, or that ultimate one divine mind, or one intelligent mind, or the quantum field, whatever you want to call it, all that is. Each of you are a center, or a unique, individualized, focused center or personality of that one divine mind, or that one ultimate reality, or all that is. But the version that you see of the others in everything and everywhere depends on your unique perspective or viewpoint or vantage point of yourself and your reality and them. It depends on your I am identity, who you're identifying as. And who you identify as determines your world, and others in your world determines what versions of them you're going to get. The assumptions of yourself, others in the world are pushed out. Pushed out, this is the whole idea, pushed out into physical experiences. I'm going to show you this today like we never have before. So let's start. Let's start with the greatest concept there is of reality, ultimate reality. Right? What the lost teachings of Jesus in the Gospel of Thomas, it says ultimate reality is within you and outside of you. In other words, all that is all that is. Existence is existence. I am means I exist. I exist as all that is. So you have the very source of what Scripture and the ancients called the Father. I am that I am. It is I. I am existence. I am the one. I am the all. I am the law. I am the absolute. I am source energy. I'm pure awareness. I'm pure consciousness. There's no beginning. There's no end. It just is. That's reality. Right? It's beyond a personality. It is the essence of existence. Right? What some call God. source energy, pure awareness. And everyone, everything, everywhere is this one being pushed out or projected or reflected in the experiences of your life experience. That's what everyone is you pushed out means. It's all from this one source, what the ancients called the great I am. I am God. In other words, I am. When you invoke those words I am, you're the same I am. That same one reality, pushing yourself out as a physical experience and others. It's source knowing itself as source. I am God, the Lord, the law, and there is no other. That's what the ancients meant when they said, I am the Lord, or the law, and there is no other. There's no one besides me. I am reality. I am ultimate reality, and there is no other. There's just existence, and it's within you and outside of you. It is you. It works through you and as you, as the one. So we're going to step through this. Think of this as the highest idea of ultimate reality, existence itself. I am that I am. God was saying to Moses, it is I. I am the I of existence. I am there's no beginning, there's no end, it's just I am. The great I am. Then from this great I am, there's the I am aware of being that great I am. Do you see this? There's the great I am, then there's the awareness of being the great I am. I am aware of being the all. This is what the ancients called the only begotten Son of God, or the only begotten Son of existence. The great begotten Son of isness of reality. The beingness is the Son of that isness. It's that isness now knowing itself as the all, being aware and conscious of itself as the one. That's what that means. That's the Son of God that the ancients were pointing to. That's the higher self. That's your awareness of being. The one divine, intelligent, aware, conscious mind. The higher self. All higher selves together. The higher self. You have the great I am, and then you have I am aware of being the great I am, or being the all. That pure consciousness, or pure awareness, aware and conscious of itself as the one. Right? It's the birth of the self-awareness. Hear this. The livingness of the one life existence. It's the livingness, this beingness of the one life of existence. It's the self-awareness to be aware as the one. It's the innate impulse or urge of source to know itself as source. That's what I am awareness is. And source knows itself, this existence, this great I am, knows itself. It's magnified or glorified through its Son. Wow, you see that? The great I am, glorified or magnified through its Son, through its awareness of knowing itself as the all. There's no separation. That's where all desire comes from. It's the innate desire to know itself. You to know yourself as source. That's where all desire comes from. It's the movement of that awareness or that consciousness on itself. God moving on itself, knowing itself as God, as isness, as all that is as ultimate reality. Consciousness being conscious of itself, awareness being aware of itself. Wow. That's where all desire comes from. I and the Father are one. I and the Father are one. The Father, though, is greater than I. The great I am is the great I am. It's the one source. Greater than anything I could be aware of being at the moment. But I'm one with it. There's no separation. That higher self, that Son of God, is one with God. Wow, that's powerful. Okay, so stay with me here. Now, and we go on, and then what's our next sort of idea? You have the great I am being aware of itself as that isness. It's the beingness. It's the livingness of life. It's consciousness being conscious of itself. It's the birth of that self-awareness. Awareness being aware of itself. It's the birth of desire. If you want to think of it that, it's the innate impulse of source to know itself as source. That's where all desire comes from. We just translate that through people, events, and things that we want. But it's all coming from that innate impulse of consciousness to be conscious, awareness to be aware. Otherwise, it's not awareness or it's not consciousness. Life to live, the livingness of life, right? So, and then you have the I am identity. So you have the great I am being aware of itself as that one. And then the I am identity, what Scripture referred to as the Son of Man, you knowing yourself. You are you and others are others. But there's no separation, it's all one. So this is you, the higher self, the awareness of being, the higher self in expression through you, through your higher self. Your I am identity is your personalized vantage point, a viewpoint of the higher self, of the Son of God, the awareness of being, the higher mind. It's your personalized essence or your personalized signature that you call your higher self. Wow. Right? Your higher mind. What does that all mean? Higher mind and higher self. Well, hear this. It's your I am identity. It's your highest conception or concept of yourself. That's what, when you say my higher self or my higher mind, it's the higher mind, the one higher mind, the one mind of the great I am, being aware of itself. But through your individualized viewpoint or essence and everybody else. Everyone has their own billions of individualized viewpoints of source, all combined to make the higher mind or the higher self. But your higher self is your highest conception of you, that I am identity. But who do you say that I am? That's why the ancients asked that question in Matthew 16:15. Jesus as your I am awareness of being. Who do you say I am? Jesus as the Son of Man and the Son of God, both asking, right? It's you asking yourself, who are you? What's your highest concept of yourself? Your self-concept as the creator, as reality in expression. That's your highest concept, right? And of course, Peter answers, you are the Christ, the Son of the living God. You are the perfect expression of all that is. Right? That's the source or ultimate reality. You're the perfect expression of that one source. Wow. That's what that means, Christ the Son of the living. It's the perfect expression of that beingness, all that is. This is all that is. Right in the violet. All that is. And you as all that is, now being pushed out into this identity from the great I am. Again, it's pushed out into this identity. Your higher self, from the higher self of the Son of God. You're one with it. Remember, there's no separation anywhere. You create your specific viewpoint, your highest conception of yourself. That's powerful. Then from that, we have your assumptions and definitions of yourself and your reality. In other words, what you see as your truth, not the truth. This is the truth. The great I am, you as that awareness of being, you as the higher self. Your highest conception of yourself is the closest to that truth that you get, the highest conception as Christ, the Son of the living God, right, as that higher awareness. But then you have specific definitions and assumptions of yourself or reality. They appear automatic and below your awareness. They appear below your awareness. But now you're seeing they're just pushed out from your awareness, right? You appear to be less aware of them because you confuse them with reality. They're just assumptions about reality, about you as reality, as all that is, and about others and your experience. You really question them, so they appear subconscious or below your awareness because you see them as the truth. You confuse them with reality, the real truth of reality, that changeless reality, that simultaneous infinite reality. You confuse it with that and you go, oh, that's who I am. But they're just assumptions and definitions of that I am identity. Again, pushing out from the great one reality. Your limiting definitions and assumptions of yourself and your reality, the world, are reflected, are projected, and pushed out into the form of the seen, people, events, and circumstances, and the unseen, thoughts, feelings, and sensations, what we call physical conditions. Do you see it from this center of the great I am, aware of itself as the one reality, self-awareness, the birth of the beingness of that isness. You as the Son of God and the Son of Man having this physical experience, have the free will and have the power to identify yourself as that creator, as that source. And then you create from that, you push out from that assumptions and definitions of yourself. But where are you getting those assumptions? From here or from out there? Because there is no out there. Your limiting definitions and assumptions of yourself and your reality and your world are projected or reflected or pushed out in the form of seen people, events, and circumstances, and unseen thoughts, feelings, and sensations that we call physical conditions. I'm going to show this today. So you have the great I am, the one source, the one existence, one ultimate reality, it being aware of itself as that one, right? The isness, aware of itself being, right? The livingness of reality, desire, the awareness being aware of itself, consciousness being conscious of itself. And then your identity, your higher mind, your higher self, as pushed out from the higher mind, the higher self, as pushed out from the great one ultimate reality, aware of itself, and you aware of yourself as that higher mind, as Christ, the Son of the living God. And then you have your assumptions about yourself, others, and reality. And you push out thoughts from that. Thoughts appear based on those assumptions. The thoughts are always changing and temporary, but you're more aware of these changing thoughts. These unseen changing appearances, they're pushed out from the assumptions and the definitions of yourself and your reality. I am or I am not. That's what these thoughts and these assumptions here of reality are. I am or I am not. I am that person I desire to be or I'm not. There's only two assumptions really. I am or I am not. I am worthy or I am not worthy. I am fulfilled or I am not fulfilled. Those are the two assumptions, and those are pushed out in the form of all different kinds of thoughts. The thoughts that feel good is when you're saying, I am that person I desire to be. The ones that don't feel good or that seem negative are the ones when you say, I am not. But it's all pushed out from this center of all that is. There's no separation anywhere. Everything, everywhere is you pushed out. I am or I am not. So follow me here. And then from there, we have the feelings or emotions. You guys might recognize this as the levels of creation that I talked about, the 7 levels. But we're looking at it from a different standpoint. Right? We're looking at it from start here. Level 7 is the only reality. It's ultimate reality. You're aware, that awareness of ultimate reality, of being ultimate reality, being the one, is level 6. And then level 5 would be your identity within that, the Son of Man as the Son of God, being aware, your highest conception of yourself. And then there's assumptions of yourself, that's level 4. And then 3, the changing thoughts. And then you're only ever feeling what you're thinking. So you have the temporary sensations in the body that are pushed out from the thoughts you're thinking and the thoughts that are appearing, based on the assumptions, based on the identity, coming from that one being. Neville Goddard said this, when I speak of feeling, wish fulfilled, I do not mean emotion, but the acceptance of the fact that it is fulfilled. So the question is, what are you accepting as true of you, your reality, and others? Because that's what's going to be pushed out in the form of your experiences. What are you accepting here? What are you accepting as true of you, others in your reality. That's powerful. So, and then we go on, finally, all of that is, from all of that is pushed out your physical manifested circumstances. Wow. Do you see it? Pushed out from all that you assume yourself or reality to be. The people, events, and things. All reflected and projected manifested circumstances and conditions or appearances are pushed out from the one source, the one substance, the one reality of all that is, I am. Do you see the idea here? Right? It's all being pushed out. And where do we put all of our focus? Here. But there's no, you can't do it. You see how you can't really do anything. You can push things around here. You can move furniture around in the room on these levels. But there's no real change. The real change comes here. That I am identity. Who you say you are. Right? Wow. Because you're this no matter what. You are God and there is no other. But you get to decide who you are in relation to all that. Am I the creator? Right? And then it all gets pushed out from there. But we toil in here. We bang around here. We bang around in our emotions. We bang around in our changing assumptions, allowing others to adopting the assumptions of the physical out there in others. When you get to decide it, all of it, right? What are you assuming about yourself, others, and your reality? Your assumptions and definitions, you get to decide that. Are you taking your cue from the changing thoughts, feelings, and conditions out there? Or are you identifying yourself, assuming things from that greater identity, the greatest identity? I am. This is what everyone is you pushed out really means. You are you, and others are others. But everyone and everything is that one same divine source. Do you see? Here you are, your higher self, all that is, the beingness of existence. Aware as the one. That's you. That's the great I am. That's you being aware of yourself as the great I am. Right here. Then you have your higher self. Your higher self. That's the higher self. That is all higher selves. That is all that is. That's all that is. That's all the higher selves. Then you have your higher self and your identity. There are others, but those others are one. They're all the higher selves. But in your reality, the versions of those others that you see is from your perspective, from your viewpoint, who you say you are. Do you see it? This guy and this guy, they're all versions of you, of what you assume about yourself, about what you assume about your reality, about what you assume about them. That's what it means that there's no others. It's all this guy here, the one higher self. Yes, there are other infinite perspectives of consciousness, but in your reality, it all comes from your perspective, your higher self, your identity, the versions you see of them. It's all one. Remember, it's all, look at all these versions here. All these different versions of that one higher self, that one God, that one Son. The versions of others and everything and everyone only depends on you. Your physical manifested experience depends on how you're identifying yourself as your higher self, as that one divine mind. What are you assuming? Everything comes from that, right? The law of assumption. What are your assumptions and definitions about yourself, others, and reality? Wow. One of you, I think, asked when we were talking about specific persons, and we're talking that, remember, they're only thinking what you're thinking. And then one of you said, well, I thought thoughts don't matter. So it doesn't matter if I'm not thinking something nice of them, or I'm thinking of somebody that is an unwanted version of my specific person. That it doesn't matter. But remember, it's not about that. It's about who are you identifying as. The thoughts and feelings are just manifestations of that identity. They're pushed out. Remember, you're asking the wrong question. They're pushed out from that identity, from who you say you are. So it's not necessarily from your assumptions and your definitions. So it's not necessarily your thoughts, it's about here. The thoughts are always changing, but who do you say you are? Wow. Do you see it? What are your assumptions and your definitions of yourself? What is that I am identity? Is it of the highest concept of yourself, others, and reality? Because when it is, you're going to be living your dream life. Yes, these appearances are always changing. Let's go back to this completed version. I got a lot of, yeah. Yes, of course, because look, it's no wonder they seem crazy sometimes, right? Because they're pushed out from all of this. But there's something at the center, and that's you. As that awareness, as that I am, you're at the center of all of it. In your version of reality, in your version of events. It's still all that is. But each one of you have your own unique experience, vantage point, and viewpoint as all that is. And that's pushed out and reflected and projected in the people, events, and circumstances, and the changing thoughts and feelings of your reality. That's powerful. That's why manifesting is not what you think. That's the shocking truth of everybody is you, pushed out. I am your host, Tom Kearin, and these are the studios of Be Something Wonderful, where we help you level up and become the best version of yourself. Creators, join us. Join us for the video on the Tom Kearin channel. You can find us there at The Tom Kearin. Remember, it's spelled Kearin. You can Google that. It's The Tom Kearin YouTube channel. Follow us there as well. Creators with great love, with great light and infinite gratitude. This is Tom Kearin here in the studios of Be Something Wonderful. Until next time, we'll see you soon.